All right, good evening. This is Chicago. You just got to understand what I'm about to try and explain to you. I apologize ahead of time. This video is vertical, even though I recorded horizontal. I just now figured out when I had to reboot my phone, actually hard reset it recently for whatever reason. Go figure why that would be. It all locked up. My other phone, remember in February when it caught on fire? There's a video of that out there too. That was my backup when I used to do Wi-Fi while I'm listening to music on this one or whatever. But I haven't had video when it went nuts. The Aether, right? Anyway, speaking of the Aether and God, I want to throw God. I hate the algo getting mad, but when God's letting you know shit or not, you got to give him respect. And oh, by the way, I fixed the problem. It was a setting for some kind of HD, and it was trying to compress. So even though I was going horizontal, it would flip it because it uses less data, whatever. I don't give it. I always download everything anyway. So that's fixed. From this day forward, my in the field videos will be normal again. And I don't want to mess with the flip. It'll take forever to take a 20-minute, not this one, but the other one I just did before it that you don't know about yet. Needs to be flipped. I'll just play it straight up. So this is going to be straight up and down. This is a Sundog. This is a Sundog, it's called. Right there. To the left of the sun. And then to the right of the sun. To see both at the same time. I don't know if I can zoom out. So I only need you to hear one thing at the end. There's the sun. Now turn this to your left. Exactly down the center of the sun on a horizontal line. Looks like a rainbow right here. Looks like a rainbow right here. They're like 22 degrees wide. That's about 25 degrees. So in the sky, if you take your finger and look at the distance, I think this is 25 or 27 degrees between this finger and your thumb. That's like 1 degree. This is like 10 degrees or 5 degrees, 10 degrees. There's a way to measure when you're doing sky, whatever, you don't care. But I actually did this with my other hand. So this is, when you look up Sundog, they're going to tell you it's a common occurrence if you're in the middle of the equator, like line or closer to the middle or southern, whatever. And then it has to be like winter because those are ice crystals, they tell you. I've seen this. I've been doing weather and solar radar, etc. my whole life, almost 30 years at least. I've seen this one time in my life. That was like 2015. I was with my daughter. She was in the car with me. We both were staring at it. She saw it. That's going to be important in a second because not everybody sees this. I could prove it. I could fucking prove it right now by witnesses, but they don't want to go on the air, and I don't blame them because this is really weird stuff. Little backstory. Oh, at the end here. Hang on. This is going to come into the story. Hang on. Listen to this. This is happening. The Aether is effing real, and so is God, in my opinion. But who am I? All I know is I don't want to have to come back here again. Hopefully I'm earning my wings. This is Chicago. I'm out. That came out of my mouth while I'm standing. I had to pull the car over. I'm on partially on. It's only a 2-lane road, so I'm sticking in the road. I put the blinker on. Whatever. It's not that much traffic, but pull over because I see this as I'm driving. The sun was to my about probably 40, about I don't know 20, whatever. It doesn't matter. 25 degrees to my right, but whatever. From my straight position, it was right there. So I see the one part of the dog, right? That's that little prism. So then I look to the right because I know where to look because I report on this stuff all the time. And there it is. So both of them are visible, right? And they're exactly like 20, whatever that distance is, right? It's like 22 degrees, whatever, 26, whatever. It doesn't matter. Point is, I just got done filming, first of all, at another grocery store. The same one. I'm doing a weekly follow up. See how that works? Still no food. That video is going to be up and down, but that's while I explain a theory as I'm walking through the store. I get out to the car because I'm literally almost having, and I've been around some evil shit. I've had to deal with evil people face to face. I've seen the worst of the worst. Literally been involved with all that garbage. But going into a store that I know there's no food, it causes like almost like a panic attack. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get out of the store. It was freaking me out because this is like the 5th time I've done this in a week. And every store I go to is the same garbage. And then I say a prayer as I'm walking to my car. I went the long way to get some exercise. And I used to see these 3 doves all the time right here. 3. All the time this summer. They'll call it from April till about a month ago. Just under a month ago. And now they're gone. That's weird. And I have video of that. They were on the playground. Like it landed right in front of me. They're on the street. I got pictures of it. I'll have to do a video about this. And the backstory on that. It's just weird. And now they've been gone. So this morning when I pray, every time I see the sun in my window in the morning, I try to thank him. If I'm still here, I thank, whatever. You do you, whatever. But I never ask for anything because I think that's rude. And there's a lot of, well, you do you, whatever. My point is, I made a comment. You call it the ether, I call it God or the ether, whatever you want to do. Fast forward, I'm at the store. This is hours after the initial prayer. I come out of that store all creeped out. So I'm just praying to God, just clearing my head a little bit. And and I made comment, just not asking them to do it. I just said it's been a while since I've seen any weird things around here. So as I'm driving out of the parking lot, I go down this road, another road, hang a left, and then a right. About to turn right. That's the main 2-lane road I'm about to tell you about. I see this, right? This is going to get crazy. Stay tuned. Don't turn off. I know I'm rambling a little bit, but this is hard to explain. Put this down. And if you're not an alien, even the aliens don't get some of this until you're veiled. It depends where you're at. Empaths may know or whatever, but I'm talking some serious stuff. When you're praying, you're talking all day. You guys saw my videos earlier. I'm hitting on some weird shit. Well, one thing you do ask is for the armor. I don't know if you know about that stuff, but if you do, that's what you're asking for. I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for my health back. I'm just saying I'm glad I'm here. And thank you for that. You better be thanking you're here because there's some shit coming. And there's certain people that see it, and there's got to be a reason. Look up or whatever you look at, ether, whatever you call it. So I'm driving. I see the Sundog, right? I call my friend up who lives nearby. Actually, these things are almost right over their area. Literally that direction, let's call it. I say, hey, run outside, grab your kids, run outside. Because this is rare. I've only seen it one time in my life. This is now the 2nd time ever. And I look for shit like that. Or I notice it. Like the things in the air all the time that nobody else seems to see. Like the empty groceries, everybody thinks it's full because there's one carton on the front line. I did today. I just start popping them. I put them back up. I'm not a prick. But I pop it over and there's nothing behind it. So as you walk by, it's a magic shell trick. So you read people that don't see, they go, oh, there's plenty of food. Because everybody else thinks there's no problem except for a handful. So is that what I'm seeing, right? Keep that in the back of your mind. So I get to their house. No, I call him. He goes, let me go. And he runs outside with his kids, whatever. So I'm just driving about a 5-minute drive because I'm still freaking out a little bit because I'm assuming there's a reason for me seeing that. These odds are like, got to be phenomenal. Like, let me ask you guys, how many people have literally seen the sun and the dogs at 22 or 27 degrees on each side See how that works? I bet you almost nobody. I bet you. Please comment, even if you're not a normal commenter. Comment. How many times have you seen with your own, not on TV or the internet? Because I've seen it a ton of times on the internet because I report on this stuff. Years ago, I did weather more than I do news. Now I do the end of the world shit, but whatever. End of the old world is what I'm saying. So I'm thinking, I'm having like a religious moment, whatever you call it, it's garbage, or a spiritual, whatever you call it. I'm not telling you what to do. But I'm telling you, I've had weird shit happen in the last 12 months. And whatever, you guys get it, that give me. So I get to their house. I go, did you see it? Like, did you get out there in time? Because it was there the whole time I drove from there to his house. Guess what happened? He goes outside and has his teenage kids. Let's say there's two teenagers and him. And then the younger kids were in the house somewhere. They didn't even know about it. But the older kid, two kids, and him went outside. And they went to look at it. They're in the same vicinity as I am. They couldn't see it. I just showed it to you on tape. Not just him couldn't see it. It was too bright. And they couldn't, etc. He's like, I didn't see it. It was there for 5 minutes. It didn't. Usually these things last a few seconds from what I've read. And my last experience did last a few minutes. It seemed like I still remember that. I know the highway we were driving on when that happened. It was right at Route 12 and like 176. I remember it was going westbound. It was sunset again. So that's like a miracle, right? But then why didn't they see it? That's weird. Keep that in the back of your mind. So then, hang on. So then, the younger daughter or son, I'm not going to say, comes out with a book, a new drawing book. And I'm guessing, probably too young to really type, but the way her pattern skills are and etc., you almost think, are you one of these aliens? We'll see. I'm not judging. I'm just saying. And all of a sudden, these aliens are popping up all over. Like we were here, I swear it's something from the Egyptian or Roman time or something. And this is a final spiritual thing happening because I'm watching people drop. They're giving up their soul like nothing. You don't even get anything for it. At least movie stars get money. Like, what are you getting? But whatever, do you? So, possible alien, junior alien. The person I call on the phone, not an alien. We know that. So I started telling the story, blah, blah, blah. The kid comes out, wants to show me this new picture. Brand new book. Let me open this thing. This is her journal. It's brand new, hardcover, black book, first page. Keep that in mind. Wow, this internet, and I don't know what's going on now. Resetting my phones. Now my computer's dying. I have no internet. See how long it's taking to load this? And it ain't the tabs. It's all garbage. Anyways, she's got this brand new black drawing book. Comes out, says, hey, look at my picture. You're not going to believe. And you're still not going to know what I'm talking about. This is the picture she drew. And I'll fast forward a little bit. We all figured it out. She was drawing this at the exact time I called her dad while I was out front of my car in the grass over a corn field like this, right? So the only difference is the hands are down. But it could have been after I stopped recording. This is the sun setting in front of a silhouette. I was wearing a long winter coat because it was chilly. So from behind, if you were like remote viewing, let's say, and you're a junior wizard, a young one that sees pattern. We've already established that her parents know that, etc. You drew this at the exact time I was staring at that said sun with the rare, in my opinion, rare, very rare, because I've only seen it once in my life, and I could see this. The other people that aren't for sure aliens, they didn't see it, and they looked right at it at the same time while she said she was on her carpet drawing this. Now, most of you aren't going to understand what I'm talking about, but if you're anywhere near my pattern skills, and if you know anything about remote viewing or anything about, because she's younger, she's closer to the other side than I am. Now I'm getting old and closer to the other side again. So is that where this balance is coming in? This is creepy shit, meaning not creepy in a bad way, that this even works. It gets worse. The mother, who is a wizard for sure, according to the testing, besides all the symptoms of it, younger though, so not as advanced yet with the veil, but getting there. And I think it helps that I can explain stuff that they're about to go through to a T, by the way. But is this remote viewing of a child seeing what I was seeing, not far from where they live, by the way? And then guess what? Mama comes home while we're talking about this. I was jacked. You could ask them, or you can't, but I'm sure their cameras had me on tape. Their security cameras. I'm sure we could play it back. I was at a 10 out of 10 on my energy level while I was trying to figure this out. Because when she came out, I go, first thing out of my mouth, and I hope they do have if you got the security camera and you're watching this, save that tape. Please save that tape. Because that will be raw right out of my mouth as this happened. Please save the tape. I know you're going to watch this later. Please save the tape. I've never had raw tape of me going raw without me even knowing it. See what I'm saying? I'm sure there's tapes out there, like at the grocery store. But this, I don't know much about remote viewing. But when I saw that, I'm wearing a long coat. And by the way, my hair was up earlier in my video. Remember, I was hanging to the side and off the front because I already took a shower tonight, but now it's fixed. I didn't really pay attention. You would see if you're remote viewing if you're seeing the person from behind, he's got a long ponytail, a long coat, and look, my legs are missing. So whatever her perspective was about from the knees up. By the way, when you do past life regression, not that I have or not, but if you do, I hear a rumor that when you get on the other side the first time and you look down at yourself in first person or whatever this is called, and you're like in the year 1500 maybe or so, that's what it looked like, 1200, and you see sand everywhere because you're literally in your own eyes looking down, and you see, I was wearing a white thing like this. Not that it was me. I'm saying if it was me. Look up Dr. Weiss. Past life, many lives, many masters. You could do it right. You could do it yourself the first night. Go on the back. Now his book's on tape, or whatever you call that garbage today. He'll walk you through it, and it takes 10 minutes, and all of a sudden you're slipping out. And if you're like me and you remember everything, it freaked you out at first. You're like, but now I want to go back to do it because now I know more. That was about 2012. I did that. This is remote viewing. I don't give a shit what you say. That's exactly the clothes I was wearing, except the long hair is me. That to me looks like a girl. But if you saw the remote from behind and you would key off a certain thing, he's got a long, or she's got a ponytail. It looks like a broad, right? This thing's a foot or two long or whatever it is garbage. It's like a horse. If she were to draw a horse, I'd think it was me. From behind, I probably look like a horse's ass. See what I'm saying? Anything close to me, and then the alpha omega garbage, and I'm not physically that way, I'm saying spiritually. Because everybody laughs when I say that. They think, no, I don't play on that team. You saw my tongues video, right? Yeah. I mean about how we think, you know what I mean? Wizard slayers, but I was an apprentice wizard, so he could have went either way. See how that goes? This is remote viewing. And, oh, by the way, I didn't finish. Mama, who is a wizard, whatever this 4-letter thing is, INFJs or whatever it's called. That's a box. So I don't. I know that's how they ID it scientifically, but spiritually, nobody knows what we're talking. We're only 1-2%, 2% total. Less than men are very rare at this. So, Mama says, "Wait, you talking about the sun with the rainbows on the sides? I go, those aren't rainbows. That's called Sundog." So then in her picture brain, she's trying to remember dogs. She remembers dogs something. So a couple minutes later, she's like, "What's that dog?" That's how we park things in our brain when we need to keep it. So by the third try, she finally got it. She never heard of this in her life. And she's like, "Well," and I asked Dad, I'm like, "He's a good math guy and money and all that garbage. Way better than I am at calculating things like that." I go, "You don't believe any of this garbage?" Because every time I come over, you can see after about 5 minutes, you see he's like, he's looking at his phone like, I can't hear him and me and his wife talking. You see what I'm saying? We chase people out of the room because now you got energy going up because we can understand each other. And half the time we don't even finish set ever. Like we just, like I'm doing now, I'm pointing and oh yeah. Well, that happens with their kid too. And it happens with my friend, the other friend I'm talking about. So that's only one other time in my life, by the way. This is so rare, this phenomenon, the wizardry garbage, that statistically out of 8 billion people, there's only 80 million in the world. If you watch I'm studying this for 6 months before I even brought it up to you guys. 80 million in the whole world. That's it. Why? And then you see things like Ezekiel 33:6. Is there some weird spiritual thing going on here? And I can give you a lot of stories about that lead up to this, especially when you look back now. This is remote viewing. What are the, I asked Dad, what are the statistical odds? Oh, the mother, by the way. Mama was driving also home. That's not my home, but she was driving home to their home. I was heading to their home, and the other alien is already in that home. 3 normal people, we'll call them normal because they're 98% of the population. They're non-alien, let's call it that. I just have HD glasses. You're wearing 720p glasses. That's it. We're both human. I'm not saying I'm not human. Don't get weird. I'm saying there's some, I don't say it, the alphabet says it. There's a connection to the ether. They say it. So forget the 4-letter thing. And then it's also tied to autism. They say the autism, people higher up on autism are related to this phenomenon that I'm explaining to you. And the other way you can tell is how they talk with their hands. That's one clue. For all you other ones that have the same problem, you'll notice we all talk and we draw a picture and then we look where we're looking because we're reliving it in our brain. That's remote viewing. And the only thing I know about remote viewing is past life regression. I did it one time and I got freaked out at the time. And then before that, I did a hypnosis thing to fuck around when I was younger. And they make you go back into like a chair. And then they make it where you can't feel your body. It was really creepy. And the second that and it happened, everything from like the neck down was gone. And for that like second or two, I flipped. Like I was like, I'm out of here. And then I jumped up. Like, I don't like that when I don't know what it is. And when I was younger, I still don't know what it is. But when I was younger, I really didn't know much. You don't get wise until you keep learning shit and failing and all that garbage. And succeeding, but you got to fail too. And then I don't get upset when I fail. I just keep moving forward and hopefully learn. Sometimes you repeat because I don't really care about myself as much as I do about all these other people that I don't even know. And then God forbid you're picking on someone I was younger. Now I know the damage. I don't want to get in fights with people like I did when I was a kid. If you're picking on like a real retarded person, I got scars on my hand from high school. This fucking football fag, these big fuckers. I was a tiny prick compared to them. And I got my ass kicked. I didn't give a shit. He was picking on a kid that literally was all like, and he was literally, something was wrong in his head, but not like today's wrong. Back then it was probably, he had a thing around his neck when he was born or whatever that was called. But whatever, do you. And I literally would jump in between and then get my ass beat so he can get the hell out of there. Literally. Didn't call a car. You didn't even tell your mom. You just went home. Like, That's just the right thing to do, but only certain people can do that as an instinct. That's what this letter thing I keep telling you is. And if you wouldn't do that, you're not one of these wizard apprentices, as I'm going to call it from now on. Now, when you graduate, you can go wizard, anti-wizard, or you can go wizard. Most people, I think, choose it because our whole life, we just see it's right or wrong. And that's why people come to you for, hey, we did this and he did that. What do you think? And then they know you're going to give instantly a burst out honest answer. And it solves a lot of people's problems when you're doing that kind of garbage. But when I tell them there's a big storm coming, they go, hey, F you, right? So then look up. I'll stop talking here for a second. This is a true story. It just happened earlier tonight. I can't even upload the other video right now. I can't think. The Christian context for Sundog phenomenon, just to give you a reference point. I don't care what you believe. Just listen, because there's people wiser than all of us that wrote a lot of this stuff. It represents bountifulness, hope, and the victory of life over death. How many times I always post live evil like that? I've been doing that all year because you have that choice, and it's the same thing. It's the same word. It's just how you use it. If you go backwards, it's evil. If you go forward, it's live, alive. Get it? Words mean something, and sometimes they mean two different things at the same time, depending on which route you're on. If you're evil, you're going to say that word's evil. If you're not, you're like, that's not right. That's live. And then because we're Americans, we'll just argue about it until we self-destruct. That's what they're trying to make you do, by the way, this separation garbage. But nobody's going to listen to me, so do you. Just be ready. Get good with your soul. And when God is talking to you, or the Aether, or whatever you believe, or the devil, if you think that's your God, do you. But this ain't the first time with me. And I'm not no Bible beat off and all that garbage. Ask anybody that knows me. They don't know who I am lately as far as this spiritual awakening. But something really bad happened like a year ago with me. Almost a year ago. It's coming up. So maybe that has something to do with this veil going up quick. Or not. Maybe all of these wizards, after 50-something years old, started all of a sudden awakening. I don't know. I'm still researching. If I knew this as much as I know graphene and what's in your pencil and how these little kids are being taken out but not to launch, and that is a lot of the videos I did today. So when you're asking God for full armor, I'm not doing that because I'm a pussy, but I know I'm not that tough. He is. And he can make shit happen or not, or to eat whatever you want to believe. But when you get what are the odds? A Sundog, the second time in my entire life I've ever seen one, and I know what they are. And then 3 non-wizards looked at it simultaneously within seconds. All they saw was a bright light. They didn't see any of that. And that's not a lie. So that then takes me back to the old X marks in the sky. The story I told you the other day. Hey, look up there. Isn't that weird? And then the people just look at it. And I'm looking at them like, you don't see it. I really said that. I did a video in 2015 about this. And I talked about the other day. All this shit lines up. The reason I talked about the other day is because the grocery store, I'm like, why is nobody believing that there's no groceries when there's physically no groceries? I use that blind. Well, some people are. Some people have cognitive dissonance. They don't want to believe their world is about to change in a very bad way. That's a fact. Deal with it. Now it's a matter of whether you're going to live in that new world or you're going to be like Little House on the Prairie. That's the only choice you got. And that's if they let you. The old totalitarian regimes have done that. They usually leave the pockets alone. And then you get an ambassador to the country, whatever this country is going to be called soon. I think they're going to break it up into 4 pieces. It's already divvied out, but you don't care. You're all fighting a blue, red. They're still jerk-offs talking about the election and trying to get votes counters. Like, what is wrong with you? That's a trick. It's been a trick since day one. It gives you the thing, I chose the red team and I chose the blue. No, you didn't choose shit. They chose who's going to be there. That's why you see that big metal thing around the old doohickey in D.C. And every country, by the way, did the same thing at the same time. They were rolling out what you see now. See how that works? And the stuff with this is over as far as spirituality, I think, unless something pops out of my mouth. But this is a lockstep thing. They're not playing. I'm going to go back to spirituality. This is better. I'll save it for. I'll do another video on it. There's some things now that are popping in my head that tie to this. You don't understand how rare this is, and it'll tell you it's not that rare. Bullshit, it ain't. Circular halo around the sun. The term Sundog or mock sun originates from Greek mythology. It was believed that the god Zeus walked his dogs. My dog was with me. That's weird. Across the sky, and the bright false suns in the sky on either side of the sun disk were the dogs. Oh my. That's interesting, no? So you got to think of it. This could be not for me. It could be for whoever else is going to listen to this later. This is how God and the Aether works. This may have nothing to do with me, even though 3 Wizard, 2.5, let's call it, literally, one's remote viewing me and, oh, I didn't finish the story. Mama was driving home, by the way. The other wizard, apprentice, she's an apprentice, she's not a wizard yet. I'm a slayer. She's like, are you talking about the thing with the doohickeys on the side? And I go, yeah. And I told her what it meant and blah, blah, blah. She was driving, looking at that. At the same time, I'm recording it, then calling dad. That then daughter was literally drawing said scene that I just showed you. That makes the odds go way higher that this can't happen by accident. You see what I'm saying? So maybe I see a Sundog and I prayed today, yay, whatever. You can take that however you want. But I just prayed when I was on the road going, what was that, east-west? I was going east. When I start going south, by the time I go south, God's up there, or whoever, God, in my opinion, Aether, no disrespect, it's the same. I'm just saying most people don't understand, so you got to say it in the language they understand. And I'm trying not to use evil language, you see that? But I can read it. What are those odds? And then one other wizard sees it, apprentice, and then the child is drawing said scene of most likely me, because that matched my coat. My coat looked like a dress because it was long. It used to fit better, but now it's kind of big. So whatever, it looks like it literally looks like a dress or skirt. That's what she drew. Hang on. And she drew. The first question when she came out and opened it, this is a brand new book. She's like, I drew you a picture. I'm like, really? Thanks. Kids like to do that for whatever reason. So lately, I was on my way to their house. She didn't know any of this. She's drawing a picture of me standing looking at the sun that I just showed you the videotape of me making. I don't know why. I'm repeating. You should have heard me earlier. I was on the ceiling where even the wizard apprentice, she had to tell me to tone it down. And she's used to, because she knows how loud I get. I was so loud, it was hurting her ears. And then the kid's like, oh my God, I'm getting like excited. The energy in the whole room, like she felt it. Mom, tell me, this is not a coincidence. I don't care what you say. The odds, if there's any actuaries in there, what are the odds of seeing a Sundog once in your life? And like I said, please comment if you, I just put yes or no. Yes means you saw one, or I saw it, do whatever. Yes or no would be easier. Yes means you saw a Sundog. No means you didn't. You don't even have to ever talk on the channel again. Just put it down. I want to see a poll of this. Or I'll maybe post it. I'll post it in the comment thing. There's a special posting section on it. I just found out again about this. Like I never used it before. I'm going to post it in there. So you can put it in the comments here, but I'm going to make a separate post to do a little survey. And it'll tell you the tallies. It'll say, How many of you seen a Sundog ever? It would be cool, like, if you could put her age range, like, doing by decades. So if you put 20, it means 20 to 30. If you put 30, it means you're 30 to 40. See what I'm saying? 4 means 40. You know, and so you don't have to type, bro. I don't want to waste your time. But if you put yes, 30, that means you're between 30 and 40. Or don't put any age. Just put yes or no. Fuck it. I don't care how old you are. I'm just wondering because of time. Like, it took me 50 something years to see it twice. And I've seen it twice since 2015 now. So it was only the last 6 years, what, 15 to 21. Huh. Those are weird odds. And I was on the street a lot in a car with lights on it. I drove a lot. I've never seen that in my whole life. That is a silhouette, in my opinion, of me, what I just explained, looking at the sunset. And the first, like I said, well, this is how I ended. The first question when she opened that book up at the table, I'm like, when did you draw that? She was, I just drew it. I go, what, today? No, I just drew it. That was 5 minutes before I was on the street doing that. I get there 5 minutes later. She's finishing up her good drawing, by the way. This is the patterns. I don't know what to say, but there's a reason that Sundog was there right after I prayed. Right after, you haven't seen the video yet, I'm doing of that grocery store and the theory that's breaking out in the interwebs, we'll call it, of why they're short on food, but why the employees think they're circling it around. It's a big W one day, then at the store over here, then the next, they're moving it by U-Haul truck, they said, and those renter trucks locally. So you'll see a big batch of and by the, it's in one of my videos that I'm thinking about it. There was a big thing of potatoes, a huge, like, what would be loaded on the semi. It was like 4 feet tall, 4 feet wide, big, huge pallet, and it was like filled, but it still had the wrap on it, the plastic wrap. They don't bring it out on the floor like that because they don't want people tripping on the wrap. See how that works? They would have taken the wrap off in the back room, brought it out. The other thing I'm thinking, there's nowhere. They had potatoes all up front. What are they doing with this is like a half a semi full of potatoes. See how this works? This is what made me do the video I'm about to post after this. I'll post it tomorrow. It's getting too late. So stay tuned for tomorrow morning's video. I'll have it out at 9 a.m. Shopping with Wags. And a creepy theory of why all this food is disappearing. And then why the employees just think it's getting delivered to their store. They see all these potatoes. This is a mound of potatoes. I gotta go find the video now. There's a mound of potatoes. I see it in my head. I remember walking down the aisle. It was at Hy-Vee. Potatoes are used in prisons a lot. Let's put it that way. There's a clue to the next show. I think Home Depot's garden center, you know, they're keeping the Christmas trees real secure with that new fencing. There's no trees in it yet. You're the trees. Have a great night. You better start thinking about your soul because there's some message here that I'm not even seeing yet. This is going to be going in my brain for a while. But you empaths, I know you're out there in my channel. I know who you are. Some of you. What is your opinion on this? Hit me on the Facebook if you don't want to post it here. Or Twitter. I don't know nothing about remote viewing except the past life garbage and the one hypnotized. And some weird dreams I had. Oh, by the way, that's coming too. My front yard, all that grass, and a big thing of smoke coming, and 3 kids in the yard. That's coming down the road from my other channel, The Wizard, when this is all officially the Wizard Slayer channel. Based on true events. That's the story. That's the new channel that's coming. Let me know what you guys think. And thank you guys out there. Everybody, Godspeed. Keep punching up. It's a great time to be alive. You can be boring. You could be living in the 1500s you could be living in the 1700s. We had to have 9 kids. They had 2 to come out the other side. You see how that works? And you're just farming all day and minding your own business. No internet to fuck your head up or nothing. But today, look what we got. We got this shit show, but it's fun. Gotta admit, this is fucking fun. And when weird things like this happen that are not explainable. And by the way, thank you to YouTube for commenting in one of my videos the other day about the grocery store. I saw you. It was called YouTube Shopping, I think. You got whoever that was, shout out because I bet you're a fan. Because you're probably not supposed to do that. I've never seen YouTube comment on my video before. I must be getting somebody's attention. You guys have a great day. I got more videos to post. More on graphene too. Let me know what you like. I can tell by the numbers. Have a great day. This is Wag Chicago. Power to the Wizard Slayers and the junior ones. They're closer to the Aether, by the way. And maybe I'm getting closer to the Aether. So that's why there's this weird awakening happening. For me, at least, maybe you guys have no idea what I'm talking about. This is Wag Chicago. I'm getting out of here before I talk too much. Have a great night.